Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. In this episode, I would like to cover or talk about my book, Tragic Loss, Lesson from a Silent Goodbye. But I will not go through the whole book. I will just cover one of the chapter which talks about the aftermath stage. Okay, chapter 5. So in this book there are total of 13 chapters. The first 4 chapters talks more about my story and Noah's story from the day he was born until his last day, and then it talks about the new stage. That's when I first received the tragic phone calls from my family member, and also it talks about the confirmation stage, whereby that's when I have to go to the site to confirm his death, as well as to understand what happened. So those are in the book, first 4 chapters of the book. So what I'm going to go through this morning is about the tragedy aftermath stage. So it is more about the first month, the trying moments during the first month of the tragedy, and it is the most agonizing and heart-wrenching period for all survivors, suicide loss survivors. And of course, the pain is so insurmountable, and also during this time there is also the risk of suicide contagion, particularly for the immediate family members and the close friends. So in this stage, the survivors may struggle to find any sense of purpose and meaning in life again. Like I mentioned in one of my podcasts, when this tragedy happens, it resets me back to zero, meaning to say, I do not know why I'm here, what is going on, and everything, every knowledge, everything that I've learned about life is actually gone, meaning to say I do not know how to overcome this period, the most heart-wrenching period of my life. So the first thing that I would advise every suicide loss survivor is to be strong, to be patient, to have patience, to continue with your prayers, especially the night prayers, to also continue with compassion, have compassion, all that. All those needs to be done. Have kindness with others, other family members who are also suffering or grieving. But during this time, you need to have to manage your thought process. So this is where I have to reframe my thoughts from now onwards. There are a few ways that I have done it. Okay, the first thing is that there are about 8 thought process that I've gone through during this stage. The first one is, I ask myself, if I'm not here, who else will continue his good deeds, Noah's good deeds? And secondly, if I'm not here, who will keep their memory alive? Okay. The third one is that my suffering is a test, and with patience comes growth. So patience is important. Whenever you are facing a very difficult test, you need to be patient and you need to be grounded. Okay, and also you have to remember God. Okay, a lot of zikir and so on, prayers. Number 4, my grief can inspire change and help others. Okay, so when I need to I can channel my pain into positive actions, raise awareness about mental health, and supporting suicide prevention. That is where I'm heading for. Okay, I have to start in the beginning saying that my grief can inspire change and help others. Number 5, the world is temporary. True peace is found beyond this life, in the hereafter, in the afterlife. So that's where the 6 pillars of Iman comes in. Okay? That was explained in the chapter 2, 3, and so on. The 6 pillars of Iman. Number 6, my loved one's struggles was not their fault. So because mental illness is not a choice, and he was afflicted with the mental illness for a reason which we do not understand, only God knows. So this is where we have to learn and understand about their mental health struggles, as well as not blaming others. Number 7, seeking knowledge is a form of healing. So I need to learn about mental health, about grief, about other suicide loss survivors, about Islam, about other knowledge and guiding principles, and also goes back to the understanding of the 6 pillars of Iman. The 6 pillars, which are, let me put it here. The first one is belief in Allah. Second is belief in the angel. The third one is belief in the Quran. The fourth one is belief in our prophets. They are our role models. They have gone through various suffering and calamities, and how they react to that or respond to those. That's where our guidance are. We have to believe in the day of judgment. That's where the afterlife comes in. And also we have to believe in the mercy of Allah, that Allah knows everything. Everything is being recorded and so on. So He is fair. Allah is fair. And we also have to believe in Qada and Qadar, which is the fate and destiny. And one of the things that I learned from it is from the Surah Al-Kahf, the story of Prophet Khidir and Prophet Moses. So the thought process is important. Those are the 8 steps that I have to take in reframing my thoughts. And then I also have to continue my other good deeds, out praying, continue the praying, especially the night prayers, tahajjud, continue all the act of kindness and charities that I'm doing. So once you have your thoughts reframed towards those, so what do I do now? Okay, is to find out what happened and why it happens. So I need to process my grief. Okay, so there are a lot of questions about the whys. For example, why did this happen? Could I have done more? How do I go on from here? Okay, and then I in order to find out some of those questions, I need to get the medical reports, Noah's medical reports, to understand what actually happened, what he had gone through, and what sort of medications, treatment he has gone through. I need to understand that. I have to go through his post-mortem reports. I have to read his suicide notes and try to understand the meaning behind it. I have to do a lot of research. I have to read books as well as to listen to all the lectures, from the scholars about illness, calamity, and so on. All those, and as well as I have to learn from other suicide loss survivors. So it is a very long process to understand grief. I have to know what happened. Why did Noah choose this path? What is major depressive disorder, MDD, and borderline personality disorder? And how can mental illness lead to suicide? And why did Noah's last counseling seem positive, yet the outcome was so tragic 1 week after his last counseling? And also, why did Noah hide this from me? There's a lot of things that I do not understand in the first month of the tragedy, which I need to learn. I need to educate myself. I don't even know about mental health. I don't even know about the illness. I don't even know about the mental health, the stigma about mental health, and so on. Okay, so that is the key thing about understanding the grief, understanding what happened, understanding getting the answers to the why. It requires a lot of effort, and you have to be patient. You have to have an open mind. Whenever you get certain answers, there will be some other questions crops up, and you have to continue your research and so on. So it is a very long process for me. So for me to also understand, to satisfy in terms of my understanding, I have to know when exactly did Noah pass away. Okay, because the forensic did not mention exactly when he passed away or when he ended his life. And then throughout this period, I have to surrender to what is beyond my control. Okay? There are a lot of things which is beyond my control. I have to trust in Allah, His wisdom, and seek His guidance, understand from it. So the story of the Prophet Khidir and Moses also brought me to the conclusion of the Qada and Qadar. Everything happens for a reason, which Allah knows why it happens, and it is for me to understand and to accept in terms of this Qada and Qadar. There also one guiding principle in this Quran that which stated that indeed with hardship comes ease. We believe in that. Okay, whenever we are facing with hardships, there comes ease in whatever way that Allah wants it. So basically, this chapter is the chapter that puts you on the right stage, and also makes you think further in terms of whether am I doing the right thing, am I going in the right path, and so on. So I hope that you all can read the details of these chapters, as well as the complete chapters, and these chapters will also be explained further in the process of gaining acceptance and closure later on. Okay, so that's all for this morning. Thank you very much.